Hello, welcome to Divided Nexus Pet Stories YouTube channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the video. This is the story of Lily and Luna Artemis going to the moon. The mission of the Luna Pint 2 was more than a technical achievement. It was a journey from the familiar green fields of Earth to the silent silver canyons of the moon and back again. As Lily, the pristine white Chihuahua, and Luna, the scruffy tan and cream explorer, were secured into their capsule, the Florida coastline began to shrink beneath them. The sky transitioned from a vibrant azure to a deep, velvety black, signaling their exit from the atmosphere. Behind them, the Earth hung like a glowing marble, while ahead, the lunar surface grew from a distant nightlight into a vast, cratered world of gray dust and ancient stone. The 3-day transit was a quiet drift through the void, where the background hum of the life support system was the only sound in the vacuum. Inside the cabin, the two tiny astronauts watched the stars, which didn't twinkle but shone with a steady, piercing light as they crossed the invisible line where the moon's gravity took hold. The craft began its descent toward the Sea of Tranquility. The background changed once more, replaced by the stark shadows of craters and the blindingly bright lunar plains, a monochrome wilderness that had never before felt the touch of a paw. Stepping out onto the lunar surface, the dogs found themselves in a world without wind or weather. The sky was a permanent midnight, even in the full glare of the sun, and the horizon felt strangely close. Lily and Luna moved through this alien backdrop with a newfound lightness, their leaps carrying them over boulders with ease. For a few historic hours, the background of their lives was the silent, dusty expanse of another world, where the only sign of life was the reflected blue glow of their home planet hanging directly overhead. The return journey began with a sharp burst of the ascent engine, kicking up a cloud of silver dust as they left the moon behind. The background shifted again as the gray sphere receded into the distance, and the blue tennis ball of Earth began to grow larger with every passing hour. The transition back to the familiar was a slow motion. Approach through the dark, as the two dogs huddled in their cradles, watching the continents and oceans rotate beneath them, waiting for the moment they would punch back through the atmosphere. The re-entry was a wall of orange fire, a brief and intense transformation of the world outside their viewport into a searing inferno. As the friction of the air slowed the capsule, the heat shield glowed incandescently, shielding the tiny pioneers from the vacuum's final grasp. Then, with a sudden jolt, the parachutes bloomed like giant orange flowers against a bright blue sky. The background of space was officially gone, replaced by the salt spray of the Pacific Ocean and the warm, oxygen-rich air of home. When the capsule bobbed in the waves, the world Lily and Luna returned to felt more vibrant than the one they had left. The smell of the ocean and the sound of the wind were sensory overloads after the sterile silence of the moon. As they were lifted onto the deck of the recovery ship, the background was filled with cheering sailors and the flapping of the American flag. They had traveled nearly 500,000 miles, crossing the greatest distance known to man, only to find that the best part of the journey was the return to solid ground. Now their lives have returned to the simple rhythms of Earth, but the background of their memories remains cosmic. On clear nights in Florida, they sit on the porch, feeling the soft grass beneath their paws, a sharp contrast to the biting lunar dust. They watch the moon rise over the palm trees, a silver disk that no longer feels like a distant mystery, but like a backyard they once visited. They are the only dogs on Earth who look at the night sky and see a familiar trail they've already walked. In the end, the story of Lily and Luna is the story of the ultimate round trip. They proved that no matter how far a Chihuahua wanders, even to the desolate craters of a celestial neighbor, the pull of home is the strongest force in the universe. They went to the moon to see the stars, but they came back to realize how precious the Earth truly is. Today, as they nap in the sun, the background of their world is once again safe and small, but their spirits will forever be anchored among the craters. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and until next time, stay super.